I've now marked out for the rock face, and I'm going to carve it out and see how it looks. Now finished cutting out all the rocks around my 50mm polystyrene, and at the top I've cut out my ventilation holes, which I've made in the ply that's going back behind it. I've also cut in the name of my lizard, which my 4-year-old boy decided to name as Bonzo. So that's now cut in, so I've got the rough outline and all the indentations, and the good thing with using 50mm is the fact that I can cut multiple depths and different size depths between the rocks. Obviously the smaller the holes, the less depth I can cut. Now what I'm going to do is use a kitchen knife again to try and round off some of the edges to make them look more rock-like. So hopefully once this is done, I'll show you what it looks like. So to give everyone an idea of what I'm doing, I'll use the outlines with the red marker pen to create the rocks. I've carved out just where the rocks aren't so far, and then if you see on the left here, what I've done is I've started cutting off the edges as well to round them off a little bit, as you can see, once again using a kitchen knife. So obviously I'll continue on to do the whole lot. Here's the finished article. I've basically carved all the edges down a little bit, making it look more rock-like. And what I've done as well is I've swept it with a brush in the edges, just to try and get rid of some of the loose stuff, so that when I get around to putting, well, I'm going to put a cement base over the top of it, just because cement's cheaper. And hopefully you see that'll make it harder faster. Here it is with all the shells and things on, just to run you guys through it. I've stuck them on with silicone, bits of polystyrene, and then I've gone round it with expanding foam just to make some edges up. And this is going to be where the water's going to come out for the waterfall, and underneath is going to be sort of a drip on the front, and underneath all of the shelves, the ledges, I've just used expanding foam. I've left it as it is. Here's the rock face with 3 layers of mortar on, which is sand cement. What I've done is I've used probably a sort of 1-on-1 gauge, so 1 equal amount of cement as there is sand. Watered down as much as it can take, and painted it on with just a normal paintbrush. And since then I've thought about maybe putting real plants on the wall as well. So I've got some plant pots and expanded foamed them on, and with this top one I've carved out roughly sort of rock pattern again, and I'm just about to start on the bottom one. And once that's done, then I'll start with putting the layers of mortar on them as well. Most of the background is hard, but I will check just to make sure if anything else needs another layer. Then that'll be that complete and be ready for my sealant, which I'm going to use, which will be for concrete ponds. I bought it from a pet shop, and hopefully I'll be showing you that before I paint it on. Last night I got the background in there. It's now been fixed to the size, as you can see. I've used brackets, L-shaped brackets, and I've just jammed them into the polystyrene, which has held pretty well. I used silicone to help fix it in, and then screwed it to the sides, obviously making sure the screws aren't too long to come out the other side. And then I've fixed in these shelves here, which will be removable, so I can get my background for the sides put in, which I'll show you later on what that is.